me what your project ideas are and what topic or standard you think it would address. And I only need two. Okay? Just two. Ms. Hardy, since you're going to be leaving us shortly.
Okay. One of them I had was doing a demonstration. Like, for instance, my 8th graders and my 6th graders would be doing forces in science, so they could come up with their own demonstration to show, like, inertia. Like, you take, like, a glass and you put a card on it with a quarter, and you, like, flick the card and the quarter, like, falls in. So they could do a demonstration and explain to the rest of the class, like, why they thought that would be a good demonstration. But it would have to come from their own little brains. They could tweak something that they found in another resource or something like that.
Okay. All right. Ms. Connell?
I put down students can write poetry for the ESE publication, which is coming up, because that gives them the opportunity to participate in creating. They can either do poetry, stories, they can also contribute artwork. So,
What standard do you think that would address? What standards do you have that deal with poetry or?
well, that's wonderful. We wouldn't go citing evidence, but we would do main idea theme.
Okay. So you could provide a theme and they have to come up with it.
Right.
Okay, cool. Mr. Johns?
Create a movie about science in the classroom using one of the iPads, or creating an app request for science where they sit there and say what do they want to see on their phone, so they can design something and say this is what it's supposed to look like and how it would help them.
Okay, cool. Mr. Ryder?
One was that with a shoebox, you were to make a World War I scene involving trench warfare or any other type of action scene during World War I.
Okay.
And that's to analyze the impact, domestic and foreign, on individuals for World War I. And then another one is like with cardboard, we made tanks, planes, and submarines.
By the way.
And that's analyze the technological advancements that led the U.S. into World War II.
Okay, good. Mr. Gordon?
Well, I have something like a model Senate, a model House of Representatives, anything, model local government,
Okay.
start out local. And I also have something like a model military thing, like what you said, create a scenario where you have two nations that are opposed to each other, and how do you come up with a peace treaty or something
Oh, okay.
to solve the issue.
All right. Mr. Pierce?
I came up with a couple actually. One of them was create the utopian society. So they would have to go and figure out how to create a society.
What do you need from it, things like that?
Stuff like that. And also, this is investigative, but they would have to fix the issues with an ancient culture,
Oh.
present it to me, and then recruit me into their culture. So
Oh, wow.
ancient China or something like that.
So what issues they have,
Yes.
how would you address them, how do I help? Okay,
Right.
cool. Coach?
Well, the one that I'm seeing the kids have a lot of difficulty with is distinguish between exercise and good health.
Oh,
So really what they would do is create working together in teams of two. One taking the health-related side and one taking the exercise, and then tying them both together. What do they mean when they work together?
Okay. Oh, very good. Okay, very nice, very nice. Hello, old lady.
One idea I had is all the students keep asking me, when am I going to use this, or I'm never going to use this. Well, one project idea is to see what their area of concentration or certification or degree, potential degree might be, and have them show me where they're going to use some of this stuff. Another is like a HGTV type Death by Design, where that would be my geometry kids. Okay, you
Use
have
these
to,
shapes.
use these shapes, revamp this area, and the class will vote, and whoever gets the highest votes will get the most stuff. I cook, so they would get the most food, and then if you got the least votes, then you get a little bit, so you won't die, but you'll be hungry, you'll be
But
hungry.
that's actually cool. So giving them different shapes and create a home using these shapes and
I
how
was
do you
going
fit
to
them
get
together.
kind of like the Crashers
Mhm.
kind of TV shows. So it's like, okay, well, you have a table, but you might have this huge clock. You might have modern because the lines are sleeker. You might have traditional, and
Okay,
so
pretty cool.
get famous.
Still there.
Will be like a in government for making a party platform. Some kind of poster where you're writing for some kind of office. You know, I need slogans, I need pictures, I need a mascot, I need, you know, your platform where you stand on certain issues, hot button issues, things like that. I need you know, posters, buttons, pins, whatever, you know, things you want to campaign for and have them run, see how well, you know, yours and how aware
So
you
you're
are.
the campaign president, come up with some stuff for this.
Essentially, yeah.
Okay.
And then other one would be mock trial for, you know, have a Supreme Court or some kind of court case, have you know, assign each student a role, have them research that role that person, see what they did, what they respond to, and even go, you know, for advanced, you know, kind of go deeper, like what were their personalities like, kind of go so they can really fit into that role, come trial time and everything.
That actually would be great when you're addressing Supreme Court cases.
Yes.
That's really great because they get to see why they decided that way. Because you also have to remind them that the times change. So, yeah, like during those times, this was okay. And this is why it needed to change and what laws and stuff that they use. So yeah, that's great.
I would have them create a lesson plan.
Oh,
So basically, you know, we have to do our research to see what
Mhm.
they're doing. So then, well, first you probably have to teach them how to make a lesson plan. You start small, like the way we learn. And then just have them create a lesson plan because then they're going to hit the standards. It means they have to understand the standards. So it means they have to look it up. A couple other things in terms of teaching the lesson. Then they can actually, once they're actually teaching it, then you know, the learning's actually coming. And then they can decide if they want to do the things that we're talking about right now in terms of project-based, if they want to explain it that way or this or that. So then they become the role of the teacher, so which is kind of cool. Video, you can always do a video. Some people, they don't necessarily like to present in front of a class.
but if they do it, then they just
So
put it
you
in
can tie those both together in terms of a lesson plan, and then they can teach it in terms of a video.
Okay, so lastly, your mission, should you choose to accept it, you really don't have an option, but you know, I'm a nerd, so I want to use the phrase. Fourth 9 weeks, I've come up with a testing schedule, and through the testing schedule, I realized that the kids are going to be out of your classroom a lot, so what we're going to do is we're going to work on project-based learning for about 3 weeks. So there are going to be 3 weeks where we're going to have a different schedule, the first, third, fifth, and then seventh skinny. And then second, fourth, sixth, and then seventh skinny. So seventh period you'll see every single day. So that makes it a little bit easier to work with them. But the other kids you'll see in a block schedule. Middle school, you guys are already in block schedule, so you're good. But for high school, that's how we're gonna do it. And I'll send out the schedule so everybody can see. But fourth 9 weeks, since we'll be deep into testing, this will be a great opportunity to use PBL in your classrooms. Before the end of the third 9 weeks, which means March 19th, so that gives you about a month and change. I need you to send me 5 lessons with rubric, because the rubric is really important in how you're going to grade them, using PBL, one of which should be definitely cross-curricular. So I should be able to see where you're using, if you're a reading teacher, where you're using math and possibly science. If you're a math teacher, where you're using history, possibly of your subject or the thing that you're touching upon, and writing, which is ELA. So it has to be, one of them has to definitely show cross-curricular, like I can see it. The others can be focused specifically on just something you want to teach in your class. And we will be on a different schedule, like I said, for the fourth 9 weeks, accommodating you and the work you'll do. So you'll be able to teach them, you'll be able to start the work in class, they'll be able to start their projects, do the research, and so on and so forth in your classroom because they'll have that time period. Okay, so before the end of the 9 weeks, which is March 19th, like I said before, I will need you to send me 5 ideas / lessons with a rubric using PBL, and one of them which should be cross-curricular. So 4 focused on your subject, and then 1 that's cross-curricular. And you've already given me one, didn't you? Or you gave me-
I mean, and I was supposed to ask, in terms of 5, are we giving you 5 individually project-based learning things?
Yeah,
like
so
that?
tell me what the standard is, what the project's going to be, what the outcome that you're looking for.
But is that necessarily going to be that they're going to be doing 5 projects?
No. You're actually probably going to end up doing 2, like
Right.
2 because
Have 5, but they have to do 2.
at the end it'll be a summative grade. It'll be so you'll have formative grades throughout, like she's been like Miss Kern does. So it's like you get a grade for the outline, you get a grade for your first your brainstorm, you get a grade for and then summative. So you don't need
Five
a,
ideas,
yeah, 5
so I have
ideas.
two.
And you get to pick. You get to pick which 2 you're going to teach. And we'll talk about it.
One of the two has to be.
One of the 2 has to be cross-trained.
Can we, some of us who have no access to the technology here, get some time with it?
Absolutely.
I mean, I find that, you know, other people have, it's great. that
Yeah, you can
have
always, all you have to
computers
do is
in the
let me
room,
know.
have iPads or whatever, but I have to like, when I get to my projects, I have to learn, I mean, Mr. Booth is really wonderful, Mr. Johnson is so wonderful helping me, because I have nothing to learn. I have
Just
one
let me know and
computer
we'll schedule it in. We'll schedule you time in the computer and we'll have, the iPads come to your room.
Most schools give each teacher these 3 or 4 desktops. Maybe next year, we, you know, even the other RMA, we had some desktops in our room, something, or we got a chance to use the cart or something. I just feel like.
And we do have a few laptops as well, so.
No, but I'm just saying, can the other classrooms get some time with the
Yeah.
technology? Because it seems like when I get to a project, I gotta ask, you know, and everybody's very helpful, but I have to ask to, let my students go somewhere to get here. I'm
Just let me know.
I have
We
to
can
do this.
schedule it.
I need a little.
Yes, ma'am.
Question. Now, it's 5 ideas.
Total.
Each one has to have a rubric, or your one rubric could go with all 5.
If you have one rubric that can go with all 5, you can
Perfect,
do it
love
that
it.
way. Absolutely.
Excellent.
Absolutely. So I'm not trying to make your job harder. I'm
Don't
just trying.
reinvent the wheel.
Yeah, don't reinvent the wheel,
Okay.
but if your project, let's say for example, if you have, a poster, and I did give you that. If you have a poster, and then you have a movie, the rubric might not be the same, but it might be the same type concept, okay? And this is last, I just kind of wanted to show you the elements that to consider, and how it kind of goes in terms of when it's teacher directed versus student directed. Collaboration is very independent. Trust or focus of control is definitely on their side because you're trusting them that they're going to do what they're supposed to do.
Just from experience, like, you know, at my classroom, 90% of my students comply. I only have one student who is really refused.
To do work. Questioning, even if you give them a question, they end up coming with more questions. And that's what you want them to do. You want them to come up with more questions like, okay, well, why is it this way? And what's the history behind that? When did that happen? That's all stuff they need to go look up, okay? Content becomes a little bit more complex because of the fact that they're doing all that questioning. Knowledge is all theirs, they're constructing it. And then last but not least, the purpose is authentic, and so is the project. Regardless of how small or large the project is, it's authentic because it's their work, it's not yours. So you can truly say, they learned this. I mean, you are a facilitator, you weren't even a teacher in that process. You are a facilitator, you facilitated that process of learning for them, okay? Start the question, inquire, use your voice. What do you need to know, revise and reflect, and who is your audience? Remember that always. Okay, lastly, before we leave, you can stop, Mr. McDermott. Thank you.